Welcome back to the One Celtic fans. This is spit out, Baz. Good evening and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View YouTube channel. And it is Monday night. We're all getting over the weekend. I think we're all done and dusted with Aberdeen chat, aren't we? Because there's more important things to talk about. The team that Brendan Rodgers will pick. First of all, do we talk about that tonight? Do we talk about that tomorrow? I think we'll leave it till tomorrow when we pick the team, because I think that we need to see who actually makes the flight to Italy, and trying to figure out who'll be on the flight could be another thing, because you never know with Brendan Rodgers and what he might do. So let's jump into the chat as we always do. First of all, there's quite a few people on the chat already, which is always good for a Monday night. And make sure that you do give the video a thumbs up. There's 60 odd people on, so there's only 18 likes, so make sure that you do. I am only going to stay for about half an hour or so. I'm getting some food made for me. Anyway, first up, Stephen Johnson. Stephen Johnson says hi. Hank M says hi to Stephen Johnson. And Big Des says, change my name, Troots, shorten it to Desmond. It's Desmond. It's hard to text SJ. So he's just changed his name to Big Des rather than Desmond. Anyway, Big Des, we know who you are. You're the feet guy. And Baz, just a thought about the Flares and stuff. Nah, I don't want to talk about Flares and that tonight. I'm done and dusted with that until Celtic decide what they're going to do with the next thing. So we just let it be. There's nothing we can do about it. There's no use really chatting about it. What we can do is be positive, and be positive as much as we can going into a Champions League group with a game that this is what I like about Celtic. See the games that we go into. Right, this is the Celtic way. See the games that we go into and we don't expect anything, and we think that we're going to get beaten, or we think we don't expect anything. Those are generally the games. If they think back to Barcelona on the night that we did the full stadium tifo, nobody expected us to beat Barcelona that night. The fans certainly didn't expect to beat Barcelona that night, and when Tony Watt gets the ball for just after the halfway line and runs towards the goal, nobody really expected him to put it in the back of the net, did they? And when it did, mayhem broke loose in the stadium that night. And that's what's great about being Celtic. We prefer to be the underdogs sometimes. And that goes right through our history. We prefer to be underdogs. I mean, if you look back to 67, well, we're underdogs in 67. So I would rather go into the game. I mean, we went into the Dortmund game and we fancied ourselves, and that's maybe the worst thing that can happen to Celtic fans. That we actually think that we're better than what we are, and then we get the serious wake-up call. A bit like the second half of the game against Aberdeen. So I think if we go into the game and if we go to Italy, not expecting too much, if we get a draw, that's a fantastic result. It puts us on 4 points. It puts us up near them in the table. You know, and it gets us off to a cracking start after 3 games, whether you like it or not. We've still got the target, remember, of between 9 and 12 points for the group. So getting anything in Italy at all would be a massive, massive, massive bonus, if you ask me. And so I would rather go into this game feeling a bit disjointed and thinking, do you know what? We're not Champions League level. You know, we are Europa level, but so were they, and they won the Europa. So if you're going to say that we are Europa League level, well, we have to beat them, don't we? And especially if you're going to go to a final, you would have to beat them in the final. But I'd rather be underdogs. I would rather be in the situation where we are underdogs, because I think that's where we excel. And can Brendan Rodgers do ultimately what Neil Lennon did that night against Barcelona? Can he do that to this team in Italy? It is in Italy. We don't have the best the best history of games in Italy over the period of years, but it can be done. It can be done. So for me, I'm glad that we're not going in and thinking that we're complete favourites. We're going to do something in this game. I'd rather go in with the positive attitude that Kyogo's got. And Kyogo's got the mindset of, do you know what? This team is good. It's trying to man-mark players and nullify the game, stop you from playing your own game, well, bring it on then. Let's see if you could do it. That's egging the Celtic team on to play their own game. But we'll play our own game, and we'll just focus on our own game. And if we can do that, and if we can defend well, and if we can do all the simple things and all the easy things well, it should be a good game. So let's not get too disjointed. Let's go into this game, and let's get the mood back up. I mean, we got the mood back up after the Zombies getting beaten. And that was, there was a few people on the channel that called that out, that said that they would drop points, that they would get beaten even by Kelly, the team who had the great comeback just a week earlier. Or it was 2 weeks earlier before the international break. Kelly were 2-0 down, and then they ended up winning. Or was it 2-1? I can't remember. But anyway, they scored. Yeah, they were 2-0 down, and then it was 2-1, and then they scored two late goals. So it can be done. Anyway, let's jump back into the comment section and see who's all in. Dave Hislop's in. Wex is in. Hail Stephen. Aberdeen only made 35 passes. We're past Aberdeen. We're over it. Listen, if we only make 35 passes, I think we'll make more than that. But if we only make a small amount of passes and win the game, the stats that night against Barcelona were unbelievable. Barcelona had something like 79% possession. 79% possession that night. It was a ridiculous amount, but Celtic still won the game. You know, we can do it. It can be done. So let's get positive. Let's get positive about it. And then before we talk about the one and only Lewis Palmer, once we've been through everyone in the comments section, let me just turn this down a bit so I can see the light. Aberdeen, you've done that one. Des, you could have called yourself Big Toe, and then we would have all known who it was. Hazel's in the house saying, even Stephen, Paul McCune, afternoon, it's 9 o'clock at night for me, mate. And 8 o'clock Celtic Park time. Dan Mack's in the house, Joseph Davis in the house, John Cullen is in the house saying, hail, boys and girls. Breaking news tonight, Clement got a new 6-year contract, and with a buyout clause of 2 bottles of bars of cola and a tea cake. That's a cracker, actually. Evening Baz says, Jim F. Lorna Gallagher's in the house. Even at you, Lorna. Hope everyone had a great day. I had a fantastic day. I was out. I wasn't out drinking. I was out doing some work, and it was nice. It was actually nice. It was a change, a massive change for what I usually do. But anyway, it was good. And Jim F's in the house, Lorna Gallagher, Nicola McCaffrey is in the house from Milton Provost, Stephen Johnson's in the house, Mark is in the house also, saying evening to people. Gemma's in the house, Stephen, and then, oh god, there's loads more to get through. Where did that all go to? Let me just jump through this. Joe is in the house, and Cineris is in the house, and let me just jump through. Oh jeez, right, I'm going to jump right through to the end of the comments because you're just commenting far too fast. Leo Miles is in the house, Carly's in the house, and Andrew says, all quiet in Hunland today. I wonder why. You would think somebody was dead apart from their club. Happy birthday for tomorrow, Celtic Mad, says Gemma. Right. Jesus, the chat gets worse than this one. Right, anyway, let's move on to the one and only Lewis Palmer. Lewis Palmer put up a post 3 days ago. 4 days ago now. Be patient. And the Daily Record have pulled up a story about it. It came off his stories on Instagram. And it's no longer there, so I don't know when he put it up. But it basically says, be patient, you might be about to have the best year of your life. And they're then going to say that Celtic might be linked with an 8.3 18-year-old winger to replace him. What people will do just to the headline's terrible, isn't it? Lewis Palmer makes cryptic social media move after fresh Celtic setback as hardline stands for 8.3 million successor emerges. It's not his successor, and Celtic, like many other clubs, have inquired about the player and that they're talking about. And do you know what? Lewis Palmer is just putting out the good vibes that he put out before, talking about himself being patient. He puts it out in his stories. It's not a big deal story, but it will get the chat going. And Lewis Palmer is a player that thinks that he should be playing first team football. His Honduras manager has said that he needs more game time at Celtic, and until he gets more game time at Celtic, he's not going to be playing for the Honduras team. So with that being said, will Lewis Palmer look to move on himself in the next transfer window? I don't think he will. I mean, he has told Brendan Rodgers, we're covering old ground here, and I think that the media should know that as well. I mean, he's had the conversation. Brendan Rodgers said if you were to react to every bit of speculation that's in the media, you wouldn't get any work done at all. But people will say, is it time for Lewis Palmer to move on? Because he's just not going to do it at Celtic. I don't know. I think he'll still be here to the end of the season, because I don't think that Celtic are going to prioritise wingers coming in the next transfer window, and that's why Lewis Palmer will still be here till the summer. And Lewis Palmer knows that, and he's saying just be patient. He knows that he will get game time between now and the end of the season. So for me, it's not really a big story, but there was a story that caught my eye, and one of the Celtic blogs actually. There was a 1 million outlay in the accounts under property, plant and equipment. And it's always good, because you always get these guys that once the Celtic accounts do come out, you can download them from Company House, and you can sit and study them and go through them with a fine tooth comb. Because obviously when Celtic put out the statement from the chairman, the chairman's statement is something that goes out every year when the accounts are released. It's basically just bumming up the share price. And that's all it's for, is to talk about all the positives, and it's to give the share price a little boost to make sure that their dividends are a little bit higher for the next year. But there was a significant £8.1 million spent on property, plant and equipment, a sharp rise compared to the 1.8 million in previous years. So they're asking, where did the money go to? Well, obviously a lot of the money went to the redevelopment of Barrafield, the club's training facility. A massive portion of the money really went there. And then if we remember back also to the summertime, there was pictures of the main stand getting a refurb around about the director's box area. They were taking away all the old wooden floorboards and stuff, and all the wooden boarding, and they were updating it all. It shows you how old. It's a fire risk, that stand, is it not? Having old wooden bits in the director's box. But anyway, and there was other things that went on in and around Celtic Park. The development to the away end, if you remember, there's been a lot of money spent on that as well, for the new staircase going up to the new doors, so the away fans can have their own little section going into the ground that can all be cornered off so that nobody can get near them. We know who we're talking about, don't we? And then there was the gym and things like that. At Lennoxtown was all updated. There was a lot of stuff at Lennoxtown all updated, because you've got to remember, Lennoxtown's getting on a bit now, and with these kind of facilities, you want to make sure that you have the best equipment for the players and all the staff. And when I say the players, I mean that through all the levels, because it's not only the first team that will use it at Lennoxtown just now, it's the youth teams, but the youth team and the women's team are going to get their own facilities at Barrafield, and that's going to cost a bit of money. But as I'm going to change my username to Big Chips 69, says Nicola. Why Big Chips 69? I really want to know. You can all change your name to whatever. Oh, why did I read that one out first? Palmer's too slow for Rodgers' system. Hopefully he can rise. We can rise to the underdog status, says Des. I think so. I think that we do play a lot better when things are unexpected of us, and it does get through to the players. You know, the all the excitement of before the Dortmund game, all the positivity that will get through to the players. Even though Brendan Rodgers will tell them to stay off social media, you know, they'll read things, and their mates will tell them stuff, and their missus will tell them stuff, and everybody's really buzzing. You're going to be brilliant, and the players are going, fucking shut up, man, because we're shiting ourselves. Anyway, Palmer thinks he's better than he is. Yeah, that's the problem with a lot of players, and not just Palmer. They always think they're better than what they are, but that's what makes players players. Chilpel's in the house. Chips and gravy. Oh, Jesus. Sometimes I wish I didn't read these. Oh, dear. He thinks he's a pop star. He does that. Baz, do a walk round if you can. Do a walk round where? Do a walk round where? Paradise? No, somebody else does that. Paul says a co-worker today said he thinks Vieira is woeful and can't wait for Taylor to come back. Valle, you mean? You spelt it wrong. And it's Baye. I keep fucking pronouncing it Valle. It's Baye. There isn't a V in Spain. It's pronounced with a B. It's woeful and can't wait for Taylor to come back. Never thought I'd heard anyone say that. What do you think? But as says Paul, I think that it's another young player that's come into the club, and we've spoke about many young players. Listen, he said the exact same thing about Taylor, your mate, I bet you, when Taylor was first at the club. You know, just remind him of conversations that he probably had about Taylor. You know, it was 4 years ago you're wanting Taylor at the club. Taylor's only better because he's had a run of games. So there's your answer straight away. And that's what I'd honestly say to anybody. Until you've had someone like Lewis Palmer, who's had longer than a lot of players, you could even look at the one and only Mikey Johnston. Mikey Johnston was given chance after chance after chance. But we all knew Mikey Johnston's level, and Mikey Johnston is enjoying his football now that he is away from Celtic. And some people feel the weight of the shoulders of the world on them when they're at Celtic. Tonight it's lemon and honey. There we go. Never thought I'd see the thing. And Nicola's changing her to her favourite Chinese order. Yes, I think that's the easy way to go about it with Alex Baye. He's just a young player that's been brought in on loan with the potential. He's on more wages than Taylor. And that's what Taylor's agent will be saying to him. Saying, listen, they've brought this young guy in for Barcelona. It's on 24 grand a week. You're not even on 24 grand a week. You know, and they signed up for 18 grand a week or something. I don't know what Taylor's on. He's definitely not on 24 grand a week, I wouldn't have thought. But it is what it is. And anyway, we might be bemoaning about the fact that Taylor might be off. But then there was somebody said the other day that Taylor might sign a new contract before the end of the season. Palmer's only thinking of himself and not the team. He ain't a team player, says Celtic Mad. He's a team player to a certain extent, but I understand where you're coming from, Celtic Mad. When it comes to I'm getting into the box and holding on to the ball too long, when he holds on to the ball too long, that's what lets him down. There's sometimes a simple pass that he can make, and he doesn't do that, and that's what frustrates the fans, because the fans can see it, Brendan Rodgers can see it, and it's like stop trying to be a fucking superstar, because you're not a superstar. Be a superstar when you are a superstar, but you're not a superstar. You need to learn how to become a superstar. In your head, you might think, I'm going to go right through these four players and smash it into the back of the net, and then you're going to be running up like fucking Maradona. But unfortunately, you're not even Messi's left small toe. Since we're on the toe subject again. Chilpel says that Valle couldn't lace Taylor's boots at the moment. That's right, Chilpel, but there's 6 years of an age difference? I think we're forgetting about that as well. What age is Taylor? 26. 27. He's older than that. He's 27. So there's a good age between them. He's a lot older. He's a lot older than the player we've brought in. So don't knock the young lad. That's all that I'm saying. And Celtic currently value Taylor at $7.5 million. That's bizarre. Do you think that Taylor's £7.5 million player? I wouldn't say it was a $7.5 million. If you got $7.5 million for Greg Taylor, take it all day long and get shot of it. But we won't. We'll get nothing near that. We'll probably get more realistically around about the $3 million, the same as what we've got for David Turnbull. But understand what you're saying, Chilpil. He couldn't lace Taylor's boots at the moment. But at the moment, he's not an international player like Greg Taylor, and he's not got the experience that Greg Taylor's got. So it's chalk and cheese, you know. You have to take Greg Taylor at the same age as Alex Bailly and then compare the two of them at the same age. You can't compare a player that's got 4 or 5 years more experience. It's crazy. But that's what we do as football fans. We say, oh, he's not as good. And you're expecting a young guy to be as good as somebody that's got all this experience. Sometimes it works. If you look at the young guy coming through Barcelona, I mean, he just walked straight into the Spain team at 17-year-old. And now they're turning around in Spain and saying, we don't want him playing in the national team so much. We want to hold him back. We don't want to burn them out. We want to enjoy him as a player, and we want to enjoy the longevity of his career. They don't want to burn the player out. They understand that here. They understand that if you bring them in too quick and you get them doing too much too quick, but like the story with Kieran Tierney, you could say that's what happened to Kieran Tierney. He came through the system really young, came into it, but he didn't come through at 17. Put it that way. But yeah, Taylor's the golf. Fingers crossed on CCV making the flight in the morning. All eyes for Celtic. Celtic fans will be watching the internet to see if there's any leaks whatsoever about the players at the airport tomorrow. If you are at the airport and you manage to get pictures or you see them at the airport, make sure to jump onto Twitter and name every single player that you see at the airport, because we're all going to be choking at the bit to find out who makes the flight and who doesn't. Basically, hopefully Cameron Carter's vicar makes the flight. If he doesn't, there'll be a lot of sighs. Put it that way. Fingers crossed. Steven says that he makes the flight. Celtic says no problems. If you've been watching, they're so funny. Just see, Chilpil says, wonder how Mikey Johnson's getting on. No idea. Once they've left Celtic, I don't follow them. Don't follow whatsoever. I'm picking the team. Taylor's in it. So Chilpil's picking the team. Taylor is in it. Is Taylor going to make the team? Is Taylor going to make the flight? Is he back for that? All eyes on CCV's feet, says Kaiser. Stephen Kennedy says, I hope the wee McCowan, Luke McCowan, gets a start. The guy works his socks off every time he comes on the field. Yep, he's a cracking little player who is also the same age as Greg Taylor. Taylor's got no chance, says Stephen. Nicholas says, Jed, who's in Corbett? I have no idea. And that's the comment section this evening. So it is a bit quieter for Monday night. Is that ready? You have yours? Cool. Food's out. Right, anyway, it's just a quick one for tonight because I'm still a bit choked up, hence the reason that I'm drinking hot water, honey and lemon. Lovely. Catch you first thing in the morning, and then we'll be watching. All eyes will be on the flight to Italy. Yes, all eyes will be on the flight to Italy to see who makes the flight and who doesn't.